What if everything you've been taught about love and relationships is a lie? What if all the effort, energy, and love you've poured into someone is actually pushing them away? You've probably heard that caring more shows love, right? But what if the truth is the exact opposite? In this video, we're going to reveal a shocking truth. When you stop caring too much, things might just change in ways you never expected. Introduction. Let's face it, relationships can be tough. You've probably been there, constantly chasing after someone, trying to show them how much you care. You text, you call, you make plans, you do everything you can to show that you're invested. But what if all of that effort is actually doing more harm than good? What if caring less, pulling back, and protecting your energy is the key to getting the love and respect you deserve? The shocking truth about overcaring. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Caring too much doesn't make someone love you more. It's easy to think that if you give everything you've got to someone, they'll appreciate it and love you back. But more often than not, that's not what happens. Instead of feeling grateful, people start to take your love for granted. You've probably felt this before. The more you try, the more distant they become. You pour your heart into thoughtful texts and caring gestures, hoping they'll notice your effort, but instead, they act like your presence is a given. That's because, over time, your constant availability becomes something they expect, not something they're thankful for. They stop valuing you because they know you'll always be there. Why stop caring feels so scary? Now, let's be real for a second. Stopping yourself from caring too much is terrifying. The fear creeps in. What if they forget about me? What if they move on and I'm left behind? It's a fear that haunts many of us, the idea that if we step back, we might lose everything we've worked so hard for. But here's the shocking truth. That fear comes from the need for validation. You've been taught that your worth is tied to how much you give, how much you sacrifice for someone else. We've been conditioned to believe that love is something you have to earn, that it's about proving your value. But this isn't the truth. The real problem, the real issue isn't about how much they care or how much they appreciate you. The real problem is how much of yourself you're giving away just to feel good enough. Think about it. When was the last time you stopped to consider your own needs? When did you take a moment to focus on yourself instead of constantly focusing on making someone else happy? Breaking free from the cycle. It's time to break free from the cycle of overgiving. Here's the challenge. Stop caring too much. Start pulling back. This isn't about being cold or cruel. It's about reclaiming your power. When you stop being the person who is always available, constantly bending over backward, you'll become someone they start to miss. That's right. When you stop caring so much, it creates space for them to realize what they've lost. They'll start to wonder, why aren't they texting me like before? Why am I thinking about them so much? Why absence creates a shift. Here's the real power in letting go. Absence creates a shift. Imagine it like this. Think about a cozy fireplace. You don't think much about it when it's burning brightly, filling the room with warmth. But when it goes out, the cold creeps in, and suddenly, you feel the difference. That's what happens when you stop caring too much. The silence becomes deafening, and they start to notice what's missing. At first, they might not even realize it. They go about their day, scrolling through social media, not thinking much about you. But then the realization hits them. Where did you go? And once they notice your absence, they can't ignore it. The wake-up call. Here's where it gets real. The absence you leave behind forces them to confront something they've been avoiding. They've been taking you for granted. Your constant care, your support, your emotional investment, it was all there, and they didn't appreciate it. Now that it's gone, they're left to face the cold reality of how much they relied on you. It's like losing a key to a door and suddenly realizing how many opportunities you can't open without it. They begin to see you for what you truly were in their life. Someone who brought warmth, stability, and value. That realization isn't easy. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. The power of reflection. This is where things get even more intense. When you pull back, it forces them to reflect. They start to replay moments in their mind. The times you were there for them, the sacrifices you made, the energy you gave without asking for anything in return. They start to see how much they took you for granted, and that sting hits harder than they ever expected. This isn't manipulation, it's clarity. You've given them space to reflect on their behavior, and now they have no choice but to see the imbalance in the relationship. The pride and regret battle. Here's where it gets really interesting. When they finally realize your worth, they'll struggle with their pride. They might act indifferent on the outside, pretending that nothing has changed, but inside, they're battling a war between regret and pride. Pride tells them, don't reach out. Don't admit you were wrong. Stay strong. Stay silent. But regret whispers, what if you've lost them forever? What if you never get a chance to fix this? They'll hesitate, wrestle with their guilt, and replay all the ways they might have messed up. But eventually, the silence will break. They might send a casual text or comment on an old social media post, trying to test the waters. But deep down, it's a recognition that they've lost something valuable. The moment of reckoning, when they finally reach out, it's important to remember something. Their return isn't about validating your worth. It's about them realizing that they messed up. The moment they come back, it's not because you begged or chased after them. It's because your absence forced them to see what they were blind to before. Standing in your power, so when they come crawling back, don't see it as a victory or a validation of your worth. See it as a moment to stand firm in your power. You've already proven your value to yourself. You don't need them to confirm it. This is your moment to decide whether their presence aligns with your peace. You've spent enough time trying to prove your worth. Now it's time to focus on yourself. Your energy is precious. Your time is valuable. And your worth is non-negotiable.